Guys, I'm Cindy Feathers and Shields, and welcome to the Success Center. We're so excited you're here. I know that when you leave here today, I want you to leave here with a couple of nuggets that you can go out and just make your business wildly successful for 2023. We have put together the most amazing panel for you today, and you're going to learn so much from these ladies. I had a quick Zoom call with them a couple of days ago, and I was blown away by the talent that we're about to put on this stage. I'd like to call our panelists up to the front. We have Karla Hutchinson, Sherri Davis. Karla is with Coahing Banker. Sherri Davis is with EXP. Miss Heidi Hitt is with Miller Homes Group. Girls, you can go ahead and take a seat. Of course, Ryan Majors is Kelly Williams, and then Dee Martin from Remax. Guys, we're so happy to have you here. I'm going to step down over here and ask the questions. So guys, let's start with Karla. Karla, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, when you got started in the business.
Okay, so I'm Karla Hutchinson. I've been in Tyler all my life. I never wanted to leave here. You probably know why. It's a great place to be. I was in corporate America for 36 years. I needed 3 years to retire, and they eliminated my position. So I decided to take a leap of faith and trust God and jump out there and get my real estate license, because I knew that I had a heart to take care of people. So got my license, 3.5 weeks, came back, hit the road. I joined a team that was a small brokerage because I had met someone that I really could connect with, and that was Diana Zamora, and she took me under her wing and helped me and coached me to be an agent. Okay, you have to have that. So I worked hard, and I did everything I was told not to do, and I did things that I was told to do, and it seemed to all kind of work together. So for almost 4 years now, it'll be July 21st, which is a crazy number in my life. It seems like that seems to be coming around quite a bit. But anyway, March 15th, I was laid off in 2019, and then in July, I started my career, and it'll be 4 years this coming year. And first year, it was about 45 transactions, and that was the first complete year of 2020. 2021 was close, but not that much, because I learned to slow down, take a deep breath, and kind of pace myself, because I felt like I was running a marathon that whole year, and I never looked up, and I talked to everybody I could. So anyway, so I'm here today to say that I'm just super excited, and I'm very honored to be here.
Thank you, Karla.
Hi, my name's Heidi Hitt, and I'm a realtor in Longview. I got my license in 2011. I met my husband in 2010, and I had been in advertising for 21 years. And then after we got married, he's a builder, and he said, you should get your real estate license, which was something that I always wanted to do, but I was always in, my previous marriage, I was like the breadwinner, and I couldn't just quit that and go into real estate. Or I didn't think I could. I wasn't so confident. But he said, you should be a realtor. And so that next day, I went to my office, and I get on the computer, and I look up, what do you have to do to be a realtor? And so I, read up what I needed to do, and I left the office at my advertising job, and I know exactly, I was driving down Judson Road, and my phone rings, and it's this guy. He says, hey, my name is Shane. I'm a realtor. You probably don't know me, but I follow you on Facebook, and so does Kathy Daniels. And we really like you. Like, we think you're funny. I have this YouTube channel, they said, we think you'd be a great realtor. And I was like, oh my God, this is like a God thing. Because the night before, my husband says, you should be a realtor. And then I get online to see how do you be a realtor. And then 5 minutes later, I get a phone call, you need to be a realtor. And so the next day I met with them and they said, bring your credit card, we'll order everything. And so I went to their office and they ordered my books and my classes and all that. And 2 months later, I was a realtor. So I got my license in December of 11, which of course was a really slow time. And so I didn't have my first sale until probably April, and I think it was a $10,000 lot. And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm not good at this at all. But I just started, being myself and getting it out there that I'm a realtor now. And I ended up my first year doing around $4.5 million. And I actually became the Rookie of the Year for the Longview Area Association of Realtors. And so that was in 2012 was my first full year. And I worked for a big brand. And then in 2017, I was the company top producer of 4 offices. It was Coldwell Banker. And then I ended up going to another brokerage. And it's just, I think I did, my first year there, I did like 17 million. Well, that was 2017. So in 2021, I think I was almost at 21 million. And then last year, I got really sick, y'all. I almost died. They called in the family. I was in the hospital. They said, you're going to be dead in 2 days. So I did miss 3 months of work in 21. And then in 22, I couldn't work for 3 months. And so my first quarter was terrible, 2022. I ended up finishing the year, I think around 17 million. And, I think I'm on track to get back up to where I used to be, but it just took a lot of work to get back to where I was. But I'm pushing, trying to do it.
Okay. Hi. Thank you guys for having me. This is really cool. So I got my real estate license in the middle of 2015, and I live in Lindale, and primarily my business grew from the Lindale area. And I started out at Leslie K Realty. I was there for 5 years. And my first 6 months in the business, my whole goal was just to make enough money to buy my kids dance lessons. I thought if we could just get a little bit more income, then the girls could take dance lessons, maybe we could get horses again, we could just get back to who we wanted to be for our family. And so I went and took my classes at TJC. Back then you could take a class per week. I just found out yesterday they don't do it that way anymore, it's longer. But I had my license in 6 weeks and got started. That first 6 months, I think I did 15 deals. And then that next year, it was around 30-something transactions. And I think the thing that we probably would all agree is in that first year, any piece of business that you can dig up, you need to hold on to and really try to cultivate the relationships with those people, because then that's going to launch you into your next year. In February of 2020, I left Leslie King Realty and moved my business to Keller Williams. I wanted some more opportunity for just different kinds of growth for myself and for the opportunity to grow a team. And so I moved to KW and started my team in June of 2020, and you all know how that was going. But it was a huge leap of faith. And so last year in 2022, we ended up serving 149 families, and it was right around 43.6 million was our total production for the year. So it was a great year, and we're super thankful and excited to see what happens next.
Give her a hand. So I'm the oddball. I'm old enough to be all of their mothers, and so very antiquated. I got my license in 2017. Did not want to get my license. Cindy insisted that I get my license. I was so happy sitting in a little office, just keeping books and getting a check on Monday. But my personal life was in shambles. So I said, okay, I can do this, and I did. I can't tell you. I don't know what I've sold. I've never kept up with my
A lot.
Cindy would say, do you know how many transactions you've closed? No. Do you know how much you've sold? No. Every year, I do know I was top producer every year for several years. This last year was a different kind of year. I really decided to set a goal. And when we talk later about systems or lack thereof, you'll understand. But I just occasionally would log into EXP's dashboard and see my numbers. And it was always followed by a phone call to Cindy going, Cindy, did I really sell that? Are those numbers right? And she'd say, yes, those are right. And so it was the first time I ever had a way to keep track, because I'm not number driven. I love it. This will be the beginning of my 7th year. I don't have a team, it's just me. I sold 21 million last year, closed 69 transactions, and loved every minute of it. And probably 95% of my work is repeat and referral. I don't have a lead kit system. I don't solicit leads. I don't have a marketing program. I don't have any of that. It's all repeat and referrals. So love what I do. My clients are my family. They're my dearest friends. I'm not a social person. My clients are my social life. And so this is what I do, and I love it. And I thank you for including me.
Absolutely. Give it up for Miss Dee Martin. She's in the house today.
Thank y'all so much for having me. Okay, so I've been in business since 2013. My first year, I did 12 transactions. I was pretty much on my own. I joke and say that our office manager trained me, and y'all know our office manager at the time because it's Sherri Johnson at Remax Integrity, and she was our office manager, and she literally would peek around the corner. She calls me delicious, and she would peek around the corner and say, Dee, is your option period about up? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I had no clue. I was literally like flying by the seat of my pants. And so, but the reason I got into real estate real quick is because I was married for 22 years, and surprise, my ex was not who I thought, and had a 2-year-long affair that I knew nothing about. Very involved in church, blah, blah, blah. I mean, like, I was as surprised as everyone else. So for those of you that are newish and you kind of have like you have to sink or swim, I had to sink or swim. And I knew that like this was going to be like the only way that I might not be sitting behind a desk making $10 an hour for the rest of my life, you know? And so I decided to swim, and I was not going to give up. And so that's how I got here. It's just really freaking hard work and a lot of it. And so I have a small team. We just opened up our team office. We're still at Remax Tyler, but as our brokers, but we are Remax Allight now, and we just have a team office. I bought the building, remodeled it. It's super cute. Y'all will get an invite. We haven't done an open house yet. And we have 6 agents on our team, and my husband's on my team. He pretty much has been doing this for, I don't know, I always get the numbers messed up, but I get the numbers messed up, he doesn't. 5 years. And so for the first couple of years that he joined me, he was just taking care of all the back end stuff that I was just trying to keep up with. And after that first year, I doubled here and there. And, you know, last year, I personally did 60 transactions, the year before 72. Our team did 120 last year, 122 the year before. Now we have 6. During those last couple of years, we had 3.5 agents. And I know, right? One of them was part-time, and she was good, so you're okay with that. So y'all can see my numbers up there. Very good.
We're going to start with you, Dee, because you have the microphone. We're going to go this way. Guys, in 2023, we woke up and our business has been a little different, would you say? I mean, it was rocking the last couple of years, but in 2023, we started seeing more of a normalcy to real estate. I want to know, what did you do to pivot in 2023, and what are you doing different now?
Okay, so, I mean, the last couple of years have been insane. So those of you who've just been in a couple of years, like, you don't really understand, like, y'all are probably going, oh my gosh, the world just died, what's happened? This is just normal. This is normal. This is a much more steady, stable market, I think. It's not crazy. The last couple of years of insanity did not force you to hone your skills. And so you're going to have to go back to the basics, and you're going to have to make phone calls, and you're going to have to follow up, and you're not just going to be like people knocking on your door, I want to buy a house, I want to sell a house. It's not going to be like that. And you're going to have to learn how to talk to people and do all the things. As Tom Perry would say, do the things, have the power. So you have to put in the time and put in the work and go back to just the basics of selling real estate, because you're going to have to take some action in order to, get some business. That's the way we're
Right.
I think one of the things that we all lost over the last couple of years in the crazy market is the ability to maintain connection with our clients for long periods of time. And we never, for the last couple of years, we haven't had to do that, right? Like, you get a buyer, they come in, 20 days later they're closing, everybody's happy, we all move on. And so the care that it takes to take a buyer from being just a warm lead to the closing table, there's a lot of finesse that has to happen and a lot of relationship management. So learning how to really build strong relationships with your clients, that it's going to fulfill the rest of your business for the rest of your life with those referrals. So with the buyers, you have to really learn expectation management. You need great vendor partners that are going to come alongside you and help get you across the finish line. So you have to cultivate those relationships. And we keep hearing this like skills-based market. Everybody keeps saying it's a skills-based market. Well, sometimes people don't even know what that is. So sometimes it's the day before closing and you go to your final walkthrough and your seller broke their toilet. And the seller's moving and they don't have time to go get a different toilet. So you drive to Lowe's and you pick up a toilet and you bring it to the house, and that was your skill for the day in the market, was you brought them a toilet, but you got the deal closed, right? So whatever it takes. And then with your sellers, one of the things that we're implementing is constant contact with them throughout the transaction, even if it's just to say, hey, we shared a new ad on Facebook today, I just wanted you to see it. Even if it's not about their house. Like, we put one up yesterday about the Tyler market in general, and I sent it to 3 of my sellers, and I said, I know you're not on Facebook, but I wanted you to see what we're advertising today. And so just keeping that relationship going so that they love you, and then they love the process of working with you. Because when things get hard, which they will, when it's day 97 on the market, and their kids didn't make their bed, and somebody's bra's hanging on the doorknob, and they finally get a showing request, and they're in Longview at work, and they're like, crap, the relationship is there, and they're not frustrated, they're just happy they got that showing request. So that would be my biggest change, is the constant little reminders of, we're here for you, we're in this with you, we're committed to getting this done for you. And honestly, at the end of the day, I want to go to dinner with you guys and hang out and build that relationship forever. So that would be my advice on how to change your business, is just get better at relationships.
perfect. Sherri.
So I am doing, honestly, about the same thing I've always done. Not very flashy, just hard work. I started out with an Excel spreadsheet in 2017. And Cindy, close your ears. I still use index cards and an Excel spreadsheet. But my clients from day one, a third of them get a text message, the other third get an email, the other third get a phone call every week. Not every month, every week. It's usually not about real estate. It's usually about, how did your son do at the track meet? Have you had that new grandbaby yet? I'm sorry you lost your father. When are you having surgery? Can I bring you dinner? I'm sending you a housekeeper next week. That has served me well. When they call and say, we're having a showing, we're in Oregon, there's not a bed in our house made, saying, it's okay, we're on our way. And I grab my assistant, and we run to the house, and we make beds, and we light candles, and so Michael and I had t-shirts for the first 3 years, and the back said, when people ask you, what do you do? Tell them whatever it takes. That was our motto, and it still is. So I haven't changed much. Still have my index cards on the ring. Still have my Excel spreadsheet. Don't have a calendar in my phone. I have a little paper calendar I carry everywhere I go. But you know, it works. For me, it works.
Wow. So, as you can see, there's a commonality here. It's about relationship. It's about giving yourself to others. That is, I just think that will set us all apart if we focus on building that relationship. Our clients become family. I just went yesterday to love on a family that they lost their mother to COVID. And she was one of my very, very dear friends, a 3-time client. 3 times I've helped her buy and sell property. And you're there for that family. You're like she said, you go and you do the extra. I was raised in a culture of that, of customer service, jump over the counter, take care of the client first. The customer's always right. You see what I got. I drank the Kool-Aid. I had that inbred in me. So that's a natural thing. But some of you might not have that. Some of you might, need help with that. And all of us know that, we're on the same team, even though we may have a different name on our brand. We're all about helping each other in this community. We have a love here that is so different than any other area in the state of Texas. I talk to a lot of agents. That's one thing I do is I build a relationship with other agents outside of this area and talk to them and run things by them. You're not in competition. You're trying to help each other, and you share your your wins and your losses, and it's amazing what you can learn. One thing I encourage that I'm doing now is I'm doing a lot more open houses. It's a Saturday. Who wants to work Saturdays? Not very many people want to work Saturdays, but that's where our business is. I'm doing open houses, and it has not, now knock on wood, if I say this, it's probably not going to happen, but with an open house, you have an opportunity to meet all kinds of different people, and there's opportunities everywhere. I have picked up more leads. I picked up a buyer, and I had the listing, and I picked up a buyer. And I had you can't say that very often that you have both sides, so that was just a huge win. Open houses, going to all these events, this business to business expo this week. If you didn't go, I highly recommend you go next year. It's a great place to network, and I've met small business owners that are here in Tyler that need a realtor. It's amazing that you'll meet people that don't even know a realtor and because they're new. I'm going to tell you, I spent a ton of money on leads. I was told not to buy leads, but I wanted to be busy, and that's where it was going. Everybody was going to the internet. Everybody was shopping on Zillow and Realtor.com. I'm here to say that I am not going to buy a lead in 2023, and if I do, I will pay you for the leads. I am bound and determined that this year is going to be different for me. It's going to be hard work, but it's going to be based on building relationships and not spending and sending $1,000 a month to these, vendors that know what we do. They know we need them. They know they got us right where they want us. So I'm just saying, hey, I'm going to take 2 steps back, and I'm going to invest my money somewhere else. That, sending out cards, buy a roll of stamps, mailing a personal card to someone that or that you ran into, that you've met. I love getting mail. You don't see any mail. You see junk mail and you see bills, but you don't see cards. So that's just a little bit of me.
I love that we're all in agreement here, so, because I didn't know if I was gonna be different from the rest of y'all, but she asked, what am I gonna do different for 2023? And I will tell you, I'm not gonna change a thing. I'm not gonna alter what has been working for me for years. If I learned anything in advertising for 21 years, it is that you have to be consistent. You have to figure out what works for you and do that and keep doing that and don't stop unless it stops working. And then you've got to find what works for you. But I have found what works for me, and I guess we'll probably get to that point where we can share some of those things. But no, I'm not going to change a thing. And when you come as close to death as I did, I was working myself really, literally to death. I was working all the time, like 15 hours a day. Plus, I'm old, my body can't keep up with all this anymore. And I just told God, I was like, if you let me live, I promise I'm going to slow down. I'm going to enjoy life. I'm going to spend more time with my friends and family. I'm going to travel. I'm going to do all these things that I've always wanted to do that I was too busy to do. And so that is what I'm doing. So that, if you want to know my goal, it is to stay alive and to keep doing what I've been doing and hopefully stay successful. But I am going to be a broken record up here and say that the number one thing you have to do is work on your relationships. So who do you focus on first would be your sphere. So you want to reach out to those people and say, hey, what can I do to help you? And it doesn't even have to be anything about real estate. In fact, it's better if it's not. Just be there. Just be their friend. Listen to them. Ask them what their goals are. How can I help you achieve your goals? Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to turn around and they're going to ask you the same thing. Well, what can I do to help you? Well, you know anybody that wants to buy or sell a house? That would help me, so it'll, just work on your relationships and everything will fall into place. And I hope that we do get to a point in this where we can say the things that we have learned after all these years that work, because everything works, honestly. If you want to be honest, every single thing out there, it will work if you do it consistently and don't do a shotgun approach. Pick that one or two things that work and don't stop. Keep going.
Okay, Heidi. Now that you say that, we're going into the leads now.
Okay, so
tell us what your lead sources are.
Okay. I used to spend a ton of money on Zillow and Realtor. Those are the main ones. There were others that I spent money on, but I did spend a lot of money on that. So while I was in the hospital for a month. My daughter is on my team. So I have a team, it's just me and my daughter. And I'm saying to her, like, I'm so sick. I can't even talk. I was on 50 liters of oxygen. And I'm trying to write notes to her. And I said, cancel Zillow, cancel Realtor. I'm spending too much money on this and I don't even know if I'm going to live to do it. So cancel it. And so she canceled it, and she's like, Mama, you're not going to die. If you die, I'm getting out of real estate. And I said, no, don't you dare get out of real estate. You keep going. You've learned a lot from me, and you better keep going. But so anyway, once I get out of the hospital, then, it's home health for a couple of months. And then I got to the point where I thought, okay, it's time for me to get back to work. And so I get on Zillow because I've done it forever. And honestly, it has worked for me. It has brought me a bunch of business, but I feel like I'm feeding the monster, But to me, it was like a necessary evil. So I go back to Zillow and I try to buy some more leads. Everything was sold out. Okay, this was like fourth quarter of 21, first quarter of 22. I couldn't hardly get anything. I was buying little bitty dinky towns, like whatever I could get. So I went from, I don't want to tell you how much I spent, but I went from many, many thousands of dollars to the most I could even spend was $1,200 a month. But guess what? We still did great. And I pretty much cut it all out and we still did great. So So that, I do pay for some leads, but I do want to get away from that. Another thing, the main thing is relationships, like I said before, you have to develop and nurture those relationships, because that's who's going to do business with you. And most of my business is all repeats and referrals. I'm an extrovert, I guess you would say. I'm a people person. And, I think people I like people, and they see that I like them, and then, in return they like me. And so I think I get a lot of business just because I'm a nice person, and I genuinely care about other people and their problems, their joys, their pain, all of that. I'm there for them. So that is something that's worked for me.
Do you have your circle of influence in a database?
Say that again?
Do you have your circle of influence in a database?
Okay, so let's get to CRMs then. I don't do them. I do not. I don't like them. I've tried it. I've spent a bunch of money on them, and I don't like it. I know that I don't like getting drip emails from other people, and I get a lot of them, and then I don't want to hurt their feelings by unsubscribing, because then they get emails, how do you unsubscribe from me? So I get them, and, but I don't like them. So I figure if I don't like them, they probably don't want to get them from me either. So it might work well for you. I just don't like it. But yes, I do have a database of my sphere. And when I reach out to them, it's not like, hey, anybody that wants to buy or sell a house? It's not that at all. I don't ever do that. I don't want to be that person. It is, hey, how are you? I saw, you're having a party coming up, yeah, I'll be there. It's more on a personal level of things that we talk about. And then they know I'm a realtor. I don't have to go around in Longview. I know a lot of you probably don't know me because I'm from Longview, but everybody in Longview knows I'm a realtor, so I don't have to scream it. But I do have to stay on the top of their mind. So, I make sure that they don't forget about me, but I'm not always, I'm a realtor, I don't do that. Just kind of cultivate those relationships.
Heidi has a great Facebook presence.
Oh,
yeah. Talk to us about Facebook. I mean, that's your.
When I'm not in Facebook jail, I spend a lot of time in Facebook jail. I have 2 Facebook accounts. Well, actually, I have 3, but the other one's not even my real name. It's my last name. But it's what I use when my other 2 Heidi Hitts are in jail. I do. I have a big Facebook presence on my personal page as well as my business page. I'll be somewhere, the mall or the store or whatever, and people just walk up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, I love your Facebook post, but trust me, there's plenty of others that don't love my Facebook post. But, a lot of people know me from that. So, Facebook has brought me a bunch of business, Instagram, all that, so I'm a big fan of social media, even though they make me so mad. But it's a great way to get your name out there and stay top of mind. So I do love social media.
I told Heidi, I said, you say on Facebook what people think.
Yes, I say it. I say what everybody else is thinking, or what most people are thinking. And if somebody is mad at me, whatever. I don't care. I can't, I'm just happy to be alive. I'm just happy to be here. And I do want to be successful. I want to continue my success, but I am not going to kill myself anymore to be that.
So,
I'm just going
to narrow this down, your lead source, basically your circle of influence, you're basically picking the phone up and calling them every now and then talking about parties. Are you mailing? Are you giving gifts?
I do some mailing. I have a farm. Not that I grow carrots and raise chickens, although I would like to have that, but my HOA won't allow it. But I have, my farm, my farm area. So I actually live in my farm area. There's 3 gated neighborhoods right next to each other in Longview. And so what I do is I send them. I try to do it like every 6 weeks, although my real estate coach was like, you need to touch them every week or 2. I'm like, do you know how expensive that is? So I do about every 6 weeks. I'll send out a card, and, you know, it'll be anything from a new listing in the farm to, you know, just a reminder of things to do, get your house ready to sell in the spring. You know, if I don't have any new listings then I'm talking about these houses sold in this area. You know, I just try to keep them up to date on what's happening in their neighborhood. So yeah, that's really, no, I have another mailer that I do. This is fairly new. I have a magazine. It looks like it's mine. It's got my picture on the cover and my name, but you know, it's one of those things where you can buy. It's about, you know, the housing market and stuff, but it's branded to me, and it's got recipe cards, and it's pretty cool. And I do have a list of about 200 people that get that every quarter. So, but that's really about the only direct mailing that I do. But I guess that is quite a bit when you consider there's 250 in my farm, and then another 250 just in that area code. I mean, not area code, zip code that I like. So I do that.
So is that your only lead sources, or are you buying a few leads still?
I think I'm spending like $1,100 or $1,200 a month on Zillow, but that keeps my daughter busy. So I give her all of the Zillow leads, and most of my leads are what I would call organic leads. They're generated from my website, and if you don't have a website, you need to get a website. It's not that expensive, honestly. Your next sale, your next closing you have, pay your taxes, pay your bills, and invest back in your company and get a website. So all of my everything goes back to my website. If I'm sharing a listing, I put my website in there. Every single ad that I do has my website on there. Like everything has my website. And so everyone goes to my website, and then I get leads off of my website, and it happens to have a really great search engine for looking for houses. So a lot of my leads are just organic leads that I'm not having to pay for. I mean, I did have to pay for the website and
Your
the
website
hosting,
is produced by
but
who?
I get more business off of that than what I get off of Zillow.
Okay, so who's producing your website? What company is driving it?
It's called iHouse. So after I got sick, I decided I needed a new website. When I wasn't working really, I was down, so I used all that time to work on my marketing and my branding. And I did a lot of stuff in my downtime like that. I got a brand new website built that helped my search engine optimization, which even though I was in advertising, it gets really technical to build up your SEO. So I wanted somebody that specialized in that to do that for me. So I hired a company. It was a different one. It was Agent Elite. It was the first website company. And they did a great job, but I found, after a year, I found this one that was even better. And so I had them build me a website. It had more features. They did more to help my SEO, and that's the search engine optimization. Another thing that I did, so I've been a realtor almost 12 years now, and I did not have a Google business page until last year. And that's crazy. It's free. Make a Google business page. So I did that in my downtime, and I get so many, I bet I get 10 calls a day from Google.
You don't do that?
I shouldn't even be telling y'all this, y'all are my competitors. But that has been huge for me. But you gotta make sure that you have someone help you with SEO. It has to do with video, it has to do with reviews. I mean, there's a lot to it to get you up there in the search. You know, if you just type in Realtors in Tyler. I don't even do that much in Tyler. But I'm usually one of the top 5 that come up if you Google Realtors in Tyler, and I'm usually the top 1 or 2 in the markets that I service. But if I hadn't got a Google business page, that wouldn't even happen. So I definitely recommend that you do that.
Good tip, great tip. All right, Karla, tell us about your lead sources.
So, like I said earlier, I spent quite a bit of money on Realtor.com and Zillow. And at the time, Realtor.com had zip code. You could buy per zip code. And it wasn't they said you would guarantee you'd get so many leads. Well, don't trust it when they say guaranteed because it's not true. But anyway, I did that. And then they brought along Op City. Are y'all familiar with Op City? Okay, don't waste your money. You can send out postcards and mail outs and for less than what they're going to charge you, 38%. I think that's what it is up to now. Anyway, Op City was something I tried. Google business page, highly recommend it. I started my business page in 2020, and that's the year I hit 45 deals, and probably 80% of my leads came from that page. And it was just a crazy, crazy good deal. Not a whole lot of people had it. They would match me with a realtor here, and y'all know him. And it was this guy and a girl, and I mean, I think that kind of helped. I hate to say that, but I mean, it was just like they would match me with somebody random, and he had tons more sales than I did. He had more reviews than I did, but it was somehow I was making it on their algorithm quite often. It's just really weird. But anyway, search, like she was saying, search optimization. I've got to, you got to figure out how that works for you. And there's a lot of people out there that can help you with that. I was lucky to have a marketing major that was my nephew, and he actually helped me start that page. And of course, he left me and moved to Houston. So I was a little salty with that, but anyway, he still kind of helps me some, but mainly it's the reviews and pictures and videos that you just kind of have to keep pushing out there. You can buy leads through that as well, and I've spent quite a bit of money. I was spending about $600 a month on it until I started getting leads for rentals. And I was like, okay, I'm not working rentals right now. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I was getting rentals. So I just, and you can turn it off. When you don't want it, you can turn it off. Realtor.com, Zillow, you're gonna have to pay whether you get leads or not. Google page, you can turn it off, turn it on. You can increase your budget. You can decrease your budget anytime. You're in control of that. That's why I like that. The other way, of course, we all talk about who we know in our circle, and you gotta think back really, really far back. How many circles have you been in, and reach out and touch those people, and somehow just have that conversation. Facebook has been huge for me. I don't do a whole lot of Facebook on a consistent basis anymore, which I was for a long time. It just takes time, and by the time I get home and write contracts or whatever I have to do and update my database and all that, I just don't have it in me. So there's people that can help you with that as well. Of course, it costs money. So that may be something I'll look into this year, is working on my Facebook page and Instagram and a YouTube channel, videos. I watch a lot of people out there doing the videos, and that's, I think it's pretty awesome, because I catch myself going, oh, I want to go see what she videoed today. So it's working. Shaylin, Garner, where are you? I do. I go check out what her video is today. It's pretty cool. It's working with me, and I'm not. It just keeps you on their mind somehow. Ron Major. Every time I see pink, I told her that, and I wore a pink jacket. I'm a big pink supporter. I'm a breast cancer survivor. Go pink. So when I see her, when I see pink, I think of Ryan Major, and so I think that's pretty cool. I think that's a way to kind of grab that attention and keep on the top of somebody's mind. So I think that's all I have done as far as lead generation, and the other part is just phone calls.
Ah, so you're picking up the phone and dialing them.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good, very good. Sherri.
I don't participate in any lead system. I've never been a part of Zillow, Realtor.com, our city. The only referral fees or lead fees that I've ever paid have been out-of-town realtors who have sent me business for a referral fee. I do have several title realtors that send me their clients. If they get a buyer or somebody they don't feel that they have the time or energy, they'll refer them out to me, and I'll do that. So, is this a place to talk about gifts?
Yes, you
Okay.
can talk about it.
So I spoil, so the money that most people spend on leads, I spend on spoiling my clients. I say loving on my clients. Every September, October, and again, I have my Excel spreadsheet. I have 2 copies. One so I know who I sent handwritten notes to, who I text, who I emailed, who I called. And then I have one for gifts. And so I divide that spreadsheet into groups, and I usually take 75 to 100 huge pots of mums and deliver those to a group, to a third group of people. And then in November, we all do pies. I think this year I did 125, maybe over 100. And I deliver pumpkin, pecan, and apple pies to another group of 100 clients. And we hand deliver them. We walk to the door, we knock, we hug, we say thank you. At Christmas, I do about 75 to 100 pots of poinsettias. We do on Mother's Day, I do 100 $5 Starbucks cards, and I put them in a Mother's Day card and send out to a group. Now, I want to say that there are some people on that list that get every single thing because they have used me 7, 8, 9 times. They get it all. Father's Day, I go back and send out 100 to 150 Whataburger gift cards, $5 each. And that's just something that we do all the time. Valentine's Day, we do hot chocolate jars and baskets, and we deliver those. I don't farm. Honestly, by the time I call, write, email, text, deliver gifts, all of that, I do staging. All of my listings that want it, occupied or not, get complimentary staging. If I need to change out sofas, change out curtains, change out bed, whatever it is, whatever it takes, we do that as well. So that is a full-time, but it works. My clients are so good. When all the media started talking about the decline in the industry, gosh, at least a third of my clients called. Are you going to be okay? Have you got clients? Do you need properties? So it's just a great, I am just in such a good place. I don't have goals to work as hard this year as I did last year. I want to enjoy it a little more. I rebranded this year. I stepped off of team, and there was a transition. I have a website now. It's brand new, so I don't have all that optimization, but I do have somebody working on that. Mine, you can search for homes on it, but it really is a lot more about me. So I'm a people-driven person as far as the people I do business with. The name means nothing. Financial success means nothing. I want to know who they are, what drives them, what are they going to do with the business I give them. And so my website is really, really personal. It tells who I am, what drives me, my personal testimony, pictures of my grandkids. So that's it.
You're such a rebel.
Yes.
I love it. So we have a very high rate of return business. when I was an individual agent before my team, I think I was running like 90% past client personal referral and sphere. And now we're right around 65 to 70% past client personal referral and sphere. And then we have a large percentage of our business that comes from outside agents who are from different states, different towns that are sending clients to me. And so I spend a lot of time getting to know agents in different areas. I'm part of a few different mastermind groups around the country that, in fact, next week I'm going on a trip with a group of women to Mexico. That sucks, right, for work? So we're gonna mastermind for one day, and then we're gonna have an adventure on a catamaran the next day. And those girls have sent millions of dollars of clients towards my team to take care of. They're like, hey, would you go to Terrell? I sure will. And so that's been really, really cool for us. We've got, I think, 3 websites, and they all, every time you click on one, it takes you back to the same one for the SEO. You can search properties on there. And then, like Karla mentioned, the Facebook thing is really working. The pink thing is really working, which is all stemmed just from a smart aleck remark that I made, and now everything's hot pink. But I do love hot pink, and it looks good on me, so I'll keep it. The guys on my team are very good sports about the pink. So I think as far as like from a marketing standpoint, like I think about Heidi, I don't know if you still have CDs on your signs, but I never forgot that when, like back in, do you still have them on your signs?
Did you say CD?
Didn't you have CDs on your signs?
No, but that's cool because you thought I did.
I thought you did.
I didn't have to spend that money, someone else did it.
I always thought you. I don't know. Whatever.
I used
Didn't
to have these drive-by riders
I had these things called, what was the company called? It was pretty cool. Drive BUY Tech. I think you can Google it. And you get riders from them to put on your sign, and it'll say text block 55 or whatever to such and such number. And then it'll automatically send them the listing. And then it catches that lead, and now you've got a name and address or whatever, email, phone number, whatever. So that's an organic lead. It was not very expensive. I guess when I quit doing it, it was 2020 when we were so busy and it was a crazy market and we all got spoiled. And I couldn't use that rider up there because I needed that space for my under contract. Right. So I just kind of got out of it, but I'm glad I thought about that again.
Yeah,
Because
you
I
should
did
do
like
that.
that. It's called Drive by BY Tech.
I think,
Yeah.
I mean, it's something like that.
But what I was thinking with her having CDs that she didn't have on her sign was like whatever you can do to set yourself apart, right? Like if the hot pink thing is working for me and the teal thing is working for Dee Martin, then whatever you can do to set yourself apart to where when someone sees that thing, right, they automatically think of you. We had the opportunity to hear from a girl this year at a conference who she loves blue heeler dogs, and she has a blue heeler rescue. And all of her marketing is her dog. Her whole team is named after her dog. It's like Harco Team Properties, and she's like in Missouri, right? And I remember this about her dogs. And so every time I see a blue heeler, I think of her. And so I know when I have someone in her area, I'm going to send them to them. So referrals are huge. The website thing is huge. So social media is huge. And I would encourage you guys to be absolutely as authentic as possible on all of your Facebook pages. So not just your personal page, but on your real estate page too. When you go live to show a property, don't stop it if you fall down. People love that. But they want to see the real things. If you walk into a house and you're already live and you open the door and it smells like cat pee, go, oh, like whatever, right? They want to see the real life of you, and they're going to fall in love with you, and they're going to send you their people. So for our business, it's past clients, personal referrals, agent to agent referrals, and then social media and online presence.
Are you buying any leads?
I am. So we have a small, like tiny presence with Zillow, just enough so it still says Premier Agent. I think it's like $175. And then we have a little bit with Realtor.com, and then I have 2 lead funnels that come through the website that are paid for.
Very good, very good.
Okay, Dee.
Okay, y'all are all awesome. Okay, so we do pay for leads. We have some Zillow leads. I am a Ramsey trusted realtor, so I do have leads that come through Big Ramsey. I have, most of our business comes from past clients in Sphere, and that is where most of it comes from because I love all my clients. We send birthday cards, we do events, we do a fall event where we do a pumpkin patch thing typically. We pass out pumpkins, we have pumpkin carving, it's super fun. We have decent weather and crappy weather and still have like 90 people show up when it was misty and cold. It's really fun. We last year passed out 1,000 crumble cookies. It was crazy. Their whole counters were full of our boxes of cookies. So we try to spoil our clients. So we do get lots of referrals from our past clients in Sphere, and but we do have some Zillow leads. We have some referral companies that honestly are annoying at this point in my life, but they help my newer agents be able to have some business, and so we still do some of that. We have a CRM, and we have a website. I do not farm. I have at times done some things in my own neighborhood. We have some plans to do some of that, but we are not currently actively sending stuff to a particular farm.
Ryan, do you have a farm?
I have horses. No, we're really into direct mail, actually. If you live in Lindale, I apologize because you're annoying. But we have a postcard plan for every listing. Every listing gets 8 direct mail postcards that go out strategically. It's called an 8x8 plan. You can Google it, steal it. I'm great at it. Postcards are awesome. We do a few different farms, because we have 8 agents on our team. If there's an area that they want to farm, we'll help them do that. My 17-year-old daughter, Bethany, is our mailroom. So I'm sorry her handwriting is messy when she addresses your envelopes, but it is what it is. So we hand address all of our direct mail that goes out because you're more likely to get them to open it if they think it's something real. And it is something real. We really are trying to come from contribution and serve these people. So we farm several different areas. It's not like a strategic blast, but it ends up being because a lot of our listings are in the same area.
So if y'all are considering or you're doing any of the lead pillars that any of us have talked about, it's really important to pay attention to your numbers. And I'm not a numbers person. I'm not analytical. I don't even like that. I can't stand it. I'm an artist type personality. I love people. I am the agent who loves people in houses. So it's just how it is. It's real. That's who I am. I really do like that. Agents joke about that. Like, you don't want to be that agent. I am that agent. But what you do want to do is pay attention to your numbers. And if you're not good at that, have somebody on your team or that you pay who is, because you do want to make sure that you're getting a good return on your investment. And so we pay attention to that. So we have looked at some of these lead sources honestly drive me nuts, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And some of them are bad leads, and some of them are just the call. I don't know. There's all kinds of reasons that it's not always fun, and you don't love that lead source. But I've looked at okay, we're canceling that. I'm done. I'm gonna. And then Jonathan's over there going, well, you got this many deals out of that last year. We spent this, and this is what you made. I'm like, oh, okay, keep it. So you do have to pay attention to that. And so, anyway, I know most of y'all know that, but I just want to throw that out there because that's what we're really trying to do here is make money, right? So,
Dee, why do you still have the microphone? Let's talk about coaching. I'm going to ask the question to all of you. Do you have a coach, and how many do you have, and who are you coaching with?
okay, I have a coach. Her name is Lori. She's with Tom Ferry, who is America's #1 coaching or real estate coach. Supposedly, you know how that is. I think he is. But anyway, I do have a coach. I've been doing that for 5 years. Jonathan coaches with her as well. He's been doing it for about 3 years. And we get tons of information. We have a mastermind that we meet with weekly. with agents all across the country that are awesome, and we have accountability with them, and we challenge each other, we set goals together, and we hold each other accountable. We get referrals from them, we give them referrals. So yeah, I totally love coaching, and if any of y'all watched Summit or went to Summit last year, I was on stage last year, the year before, because I did the 100 listing challenge, and I won't lie and say it was a blast, but it was a great experience, and I'm glad that we did it. It was so much fun to do all that. But what we did was we won $10,000 because we got 100 listings, and we donated. So we matched that, and we donated $5,000 to 4 local charities. So Nicholas Pet Haven, CASA, Fostering Collective, and Outrageous Initiative were the 4 charities that people online suggested, and we drew, and they won. So those 4 charities got $5,000 each through my coaching stuff, so that was pretty cool. So I think coaching is amazing. It is expensive. I mean, as a brand new agent, maybe you can do it, maybe you can't. And honestly, if you're not going to do the work that they tell you to do, you shouldn't spend the money, because if you get into coaching, you got to do what they tell you to do, or it's not going to work. So I wouldn't recommend that you waste money on that unless you're seriously going to do it, but I suggest you do it.
Absolutely, right.
I love coaching. My coach, I have 2 coaches. Kara Shook is from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and she's been my coach since July of 2020. And she's also become one of my very dearest friends. And she coaches the team every Tuesday, right guys? Yeah. She coaches the team every Tuesday, and I love that because when she challenges us with questions about why we feel a certain way or why we think a certain way about something, it causes us to really take a step back and analyze what's going on behind that. If I don't want to make my phone calls today, why? What am I scared of? What's the worst that can happen? And then you get off the call and you're empowered and you just go do it, right? So Kara coaches mindset for the team and for me. And then I have a Keller Williams Maps coach. Her name is Ariel, and she's from Tennessee, and she coaches me around things like my profit and loss, around my ad spend. We take a deep dive into different areas of the business each week and talk about whether or not this program stays, this program goes. And she's had a team for way longer than me, and she's way smarter than me about that kind of stuff, so I rely heavily on her. And then we have a coach that coaches Megan, who is our director of operations, and she gets coached every single week by an operations coach. And so she gets to learn things like how to build out systems that we never would have known before. So it's been really cool to watch all of that grow, and I love it. I love it.
That's amazing. Sherri.
I do not have a coach. I have never had a coach. And so there's that. I do want to add, I send out 250 of the same magazines that Heidi mentioned to my sphere. And then I buy 100 extra that come to me that are not addressed. And we deliver those all over East Texas. They're in hospital waiting rooms, doctor's office waiting rooms, car washes, oil change, anybody that, and a lot of my clients say, hey, if you'll bring me a couple of those, I'll put them out. So I do that, but no, I don't have a coach.
You have a Cindy.
I do have Cindy, that's good.
So when I started, I did not have a coach, but I did have a very strong mentor. I built a little team around me, basically. I came from an environment of a team, and I built a team. I mean, I have a lender that I can contact and ask any question about lending. I have a title company that is on speed dial. I have an inspector that I can send pictures to and say, hey, what the heck is this? I've got, you build a team of affiliates or vendors or, sounding board, basically. And these people help you get through that day-to-day, stuff that we deal with real estate. Now, I have joined a brokerage that does do coaching, and we're fortunate that we have this. Lori Arnold, she is our broker, and she has about 40 years of experience, and And then her son, he's also very into the operations of the business. So we get coaching, we get emails, we get all kinds of information. It's information overload from them. We meet with them once a month, and then we get emails every Friday. We get emails every Wednesday. We get emails on Monday. We get all kinds of things we can post out on Facebook. If you can't think of something, they send that to you. I mean, it's nice to have some of that going on behind the scenes operationally. So that has helped, and of course, you can call them at any given time. I emailed last night thinking at 9:45, I said good morning, and he replied right back to my email the question I was asking. He replied right back and said, oh, absolutely, no way, it was something with my daughter and her buying a home for her, and he was like, oh, absolutely, no way, we're still in her home, actually. Don't tell her not to do that. So anyway, it was like, oh wow, I thought he would wait till in the morning to respond to that question. He's also an attorney, so that kind of helps gives somebody a legal advice there. So I mean, if you have an attorney, reach out to them, a real estate attorney here. I mean, there's lots of them, and they can help you as well. I would not recommend you to go online and try to hire a coach. I would recommend you go and try, go to the Tom Ferry Summit. I was blessed to be able to go to that this past year, and I walked away, just powerful. It gives you so much, and it's amazing. Go to those events. Save a little money for events. Go to the Texas Realtor Conference. I did that my very first year by myself. It's amazing who you meet there. You meet other agents all around the state, and you get referrals from them. I've gotten several referrals from those agents. And just like I said, I build you a team that works with you.
I did have a coach for years with the Tom Ferry organization. Her name's Mitzi, and I'm a big fan of it. I don't do it anymore, but I think it's just because I'm just kind of in a different season now. I don't know, my whole mindset and everything has changed. And but also my entire life since I graduated college, I've worked straight commission. That's all I know. So I have that discipline already in me. I don't feel like I really need anyone as, accountability partner or whatever. I know what I got to do, and I do it. And so that's something that I just stopped doing recently. But I do have some mentors that are amazing. One is like the #1 realtor in all of Louisiana, and she has like the most successful team I've ever heard of, and we actually went to high school together. But she's been a realtor for, I don't know, a few years longer than I have, but she has taught me so much, so I still call her because, realtor 12 years, I learn something new every day. So she's a good mentor for me. I also mentor others. I have probably walked up to 20 people that I know that I truly thought this person will be a great realtor, because that's what happened to me. Someone saw that in me, and I wouldn't be where I am today had I not, had my husband saying you should be a realtor, and then that phone call, and so when I see talent, and it's usually, in a personality or their drive, I say, you know what, have you ever thought about being a realtor? And I really think that I'm probably at 20 people that are now realtors, because I said, it was like paying it forward, someone did that for me, but I don't tell everybody that. Now, some people are like, hey, I'm thinking about getting my real estate license, and it's like, I know they wouldn't be good at it, I know that they would they think they could just like make it, $100,000 and sell 3 houses and, watch Oprah and eat bonbons all day. Those people, I say, no, you do not, girl, you do not want to be a realtor. But when I see someone that has that potential, that talent, I'm like, yeah, you need to do it. And so those people I have, occasionally mentored them. I mean, I still do. We don't like sit down and have class every week or anything like that. But my door is always open, so I do get a lot of calls from other realtors. If any of you ever want to call me, you know, I'd be happy to talk to you because I think that's really important, that we should support each other and build each other up and pass on what we have learned and what we've learned that didn't work for us, you know? I mean, so I'm always open to share those things. But I am a fan of coaching. If you can afford it, I recommend that you do it.
Okay, Heidi, while you still have the microphone, there are a lot of new agents sitting here in this room today, and they're struggling to get started. What word of advice would you give them? Give them some advice of what to do when they go back to their office.
Okay, I actually have 5 points that I wrote down on the way up here. Yeah, I was writing while I was coming. Sorry. So my first thing would say, change your mindset. Don't just think about, I know as a new realtor, it's like, how can I get a lead right now? I need a lead right this second. Change your mindset. That's not what it's about. Go back to your relationships, your sphere. Build those relationships, and the leads will come. They'll just come. People like you, they're gonna do business with you. So I would say, definitely stop looking for an immediate fix because it's not gonna work. Okay, I don't know if I should say this, but I don't like a CRM, okay? I don't. I know it works for some people. It doesn't work for me, but especially when you're brand new, I would not recommend spending, that can get really expensive. I just wouldn't do it, when you're brand new. But I'm not saying you can't make your own, I mean, if y'all look at the pricing of these things, they're super expensive. So as a new agent, I just wouldn't recommend doing that right off the bat. I would make that personal touch with your sphere and not those strict emails because you're going to get your feelings hurt because they're going to just start unsubscribing from you and not. So that's just my opinion. I know it works well for some people. I've tried it. I'm not a fan. The third thing is turn up the volume on yourself. And I don't mean speak louder. I just mean make sure people know that you are a realtor. Like, let it come up in conversation. Go to all the social events you can go to, all the fundraisers, anything you can go to. I promise you, it's going to come up. The opportunity is going to be there for you to talk about that you're a realtor without even being in an annoying way. But you need to turn up the volume on yourself. And I don't know what I was on. This is one thing that I'm big on. And, my background was advertising. I did it for 21 years. People hired me to help brand them. And so branding is huge. And so my name's Heidi Hitt. And so I love my name. I love that last name, Hitt. And I remember one night, brand new realtor, laying in bed thinking, what can I do with this cool name? And so, when you brainstorm, like the first few things that come to you are stupid. Okay, I was having stupid stuff coming to mind. Hit it out of the park with Heidi Hitt, stupid stuff. But then it just hit me, was the hit list, So that's like my thing, is I am the hit list group. Before I was a group or a team, I was just the hit list. You want to get on the hit list, the listings, and I got your buyers, sellers, it's the hit list. And I actually paid the company that I used to work for as an ad agency. I paid them a lot of money. I had a vision, but I'm not a graphic artist, but I had a vision of what I wanted my logo to look like. And if you go to Google thehitlist.com, that's my website. My logo is like me. First, it was just me in like a James Bond looking. It was a silhouette of me in a James Bond looking portal. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
See, it's a CD. I told y'all.
Oh, that. Oh, that's a portal. Okay, it's not a CD. It's a portal. Listen, I actually do have a new one since that one. That's what I was looking at. So, I told you that my daughter is on my team, And so it was hurting her feelings that there was only one girl in the silhouette, you know, on the logo. So I rehired them to have two girls. She's taller than I am. Most everyone is. I'm 5'2", but she's the tall one and the curly haired one. And now, so it looks just like that, but we're back to back, like, you know, Charlie's Angels or whatever. But, so I would definitely say, work on your brand. And I don't just mean your logo, but that is important. And I don't do, what do you call that, stock, or what do you call that stuff, you know? Clip art, don't do that. Don't be tempted. I know you're tempted because it's free or whatever, you know. Don't. Hire a professional to make you a logo. And if you're not creative, you know, that they can do that for you. It just costs more if you don't have that creative energy. But I would definitely recommend getting a logo and figure out what do you love. You don't have to figure it out. You already know. Like, what is your thing? Like, are you like a pet-friendly realtor, you know? That can be your brand. But do something different than all the other pet-friendly realtors, because there's probably 500 pet-friendly realtors between Longview and Tyler. And so, you know, I mean, think of something that nobody else is doing. And on the way over here, I thought of something that would be cool. And although I do have pets and I love pets, I don't market myself as a pet-friendly realtor. But if any of you want to steal this idea that came to me on the way over here, I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool to like take your dog on like a walkthrough of a listing? Not like a listing appointment, but you want to show your new listing, and so your dog has on like a dog cam or something, and it could be like the Harper cam, like my dog is Harper, it could be like the Harper cam, you know, and just let the dog run and go. I mean, I like thinking outside the box and doing stuff like that nobody else is doing. So I just gave you that free idea, and none of y'all do that, then I might start taking Harper on calls. But I definitely think that you got to figure out what are you about, and let people know that, you know. So you could be pet friendly, you could be, you know, I'm really good at finding listings that are not on market. You know, just figure out how you want to brand yourself, and make sure that everybody knows that about you. My last thing is stop chasing shiny objects. And what I mean by that is, if you don't already get 5 phone calls a day from people trying to sell you the latest and greatest thing to help build your business and make you a bunch of money, you will. If you don't already get those calls, you will. But you've got to figure out, is this thing my thing? Can I see me doing this? Does this fit my mold? And if it doesn't, don't do it. You know, don't fall for it, because they'll all say, this is great, it's gonna be great. And it'll work, because, I mean, if you are consistent with it, of course it will work. But you want to do something that actually fits your personality. So don't spend all that money chasing shiny things. You need to find that 1 or 2 things that you enjoy, that works well for you, and be consistent with it. You know, maybe it's doing videos on YouTube, you know, and you do it, and you know, maybe you've done it for 2 years, and then all of a sudden you're like, I don't have to do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Don't stop. Keep going. Just keep going and keep doing that. And that's part of branding. And it's so important to build your brand and be consistent and stick with it. Don't be wishy-washy, shotgun approach. Don't do that.
Thank you. Give her a hand.
That's awesome. So true. So, new agents here, I would suggest and highly recommend you to find someone in your brokerage that will mentor you and coach you on that level, a day-to-day conversation. If you do not have that, you need to find a brokerage that will offer that for you, and you need to feel comfortable about calling them at any time of the day or night, especially night. We wrote a lot of contracts at night my first year, and I was on the phone with my coach, my mentor, that helped me to my success, and I give her a lot of credit. She knows it, and I love her, and you know, I joined a bigger brokerage for their brand, and it's a brand that is, you know, nationwide. I thought that would, be something that I could carry forward and build my business. That's been a really good fit for me, but you don't have to have that, not in today's time. You can build your own. And like she says, find something. I mean, I think, the major team, I think that's super cool. I think Dee Martin with her bird, the little Martin bird is super, that's just awesome. I love that. I want to change my name. Because I can't seem to find anything that has Hutchinson. That's a lot, and it's just a big word, and I just, no, just kidding. I love that last name. I would say, just work it. Get you one client and start working that client, and go on listing appointments with your mentor. Information at your fingertips. This was the best investment that I ever did for myself in my business. You were out on a showing, you're at a property, and you're looking at this property, and they're like, well, I really would like to see this other property that I saw on Zillow, and it's blah, 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 and it's saying this. I'm like, okay, let me go. You don't have to run back to the office to print out an MLS sheet. You got it right here. I have closed so many deals fast because I had information at my fingertips. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. If you don't have it, save up for it. Use your phone. We've got access to all kinds of apps. That was one thing I did, is I went to a WCR meeting, and it was in my very first part of my career. I joined WCR way early. Went to a lot of events, and I learned a lot from agents. And Dee Martin showed me an app, and I still use that app today. It's the mileage. There's a mileage app that she showed us there, and there was one other that I use all the time. Landglide.
Chrissy taught me about Landglide.
Landglide app. I use it all the time, and it makes me look so smart when I can say, okay, the boundary is about right here, okay? Because it shows you where the boundary lines are, and it also shows you, if it's up to date with the county record, the name of the owner. It's so cool. Apps are out there. It's called Landglide. There was another one I used for a long time too. Onyx Hunt. Yeah, I use that too, but I really like Landglide better. There's a fee, but it's not bad. It helps. And it helps you look smart.
What is your mileage app?
My mileage app is Mile IQ. It runs on my phone all the time, and you can swipe left or swipe right. And if it's business, it's left. If it's personal, it's right. Most everything I do is business. I'm coming to town all the time, and I'm always doing business, so I don't have very much personal knowledge. But I try to put some in there just to keep the IRS happy. There's so many other things. She also taught me Genius Scan. Chrissy showed me Genius Scan. I still use it. I still use that, even though I've got a scan app on my iPhone. I use Genius Scan because it's just easy. It's so easy. You can scan documents in at your fingertips and email it right there to the listing agent. It's cool. So seek out tools that help you with your business and people that can help you with your business. I'm here. I'm a phone call away. I don't mind helping anyone. I think we all win if we help each other.
Thank you. Give her a hand.
I would say be authentically you. What works for Ryan may not work for me. If I go out and wear hot pink, somebody will immediately know that is not her. If I show up at every social event, they'll think something bad happened to me, because that is definitely not me. I am a worker bee, stay in the back, and so that doesn't work for me. Find out what works for you, who you are. People will realize that you are genuine and authentic just as quickly as they will realize that you're not. Plant seeds. Michael Allen came to me right when he got his license, and if I said once, I know he got so tired. He'd say, well, I need a deal, I need a deal. And so you're planting seeds. You don't harvest the minute you plant. Plant, 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 and then nurture that, and it will come and it will produce, and it does. But it takes patience. It takes a lot of hard work. I think people get into this, I hear it all the time. I have a couple that I've brought on who called and said, I really don't think I'm gonna do this. I just wanted to do what you, this is a quote, I want to do what you do. I said, well, what do I do? Well, you just sell houses. I said, what do you not want to do? Well, I don't want to have to call people, and I don't want to have to knock doors. And I just bought a house in a new neighborhood. And I had the best year of my life. And during August, after I moved in, I knocked every door in my subdivision. Just saying, hi, your neighbor. If you ever need any help, here I am. So don't ever be above doing anything. And if someone tells you that this is the latest and greatest and it looks authentic or it sounds genuine, if it's not authentic and it's not genuine, it just isn't. And they will know that. So that's all. That's all I have.
So I'm not from East Texas. I was born and raised in Fredericksburg. And so when I started in the business, I knew one person in Lindale and I was married to him, and he already had a house. So I didn't have to sell him one. So I was kind of a little bit overwhelmed at the idea when I sat in a room like this and I heard people say, oh, it's your database, it's your repeat clients and your sphere of influence and all these things. I'm like, well, I don't have a sphere of influence here, and I've never had a deal, so I don't have a client. So where are they going to come from? And so I had to think back to when I was a management assistant at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and what did they have me do when I needed to go get new accounts? I went to everywhere with an unlocked door, and I brought a box of donuts with my business card taped to the top of it, and I said, hey, I'm Ryan, I'm new to town, and I'm a realtor, and I'd love to serve your family. And what that did for me was, number one, it gave me something to do every day. And so when I'm having these new agents come on my team and they're not finding the business, it's because they're not getting into action. And so if there's one thing that I can tell you to do every single day is get into action. Get up, get dressed like you have 17 appointments that day so that when your phone rings, you're professional and you're ready to answer it. Be prepared, check the hot sheet every single morning, know your job. Like, yes, we have to build relationships, we have to do all those things to cultivate the pipeline, but at the end of the day, it's our job to be the expert. It's our job to have access to things like land glide that say, nope, the boundary line's right here, that shop is on the other house's property. Like, it's up to us to know how to do that. And like these ladies mentioned, the best way to do that is to find someone who's gone before you. Find that person and that's your North Star that you're like, when I grow up, I want to be just like them, right? And go introduce yourself, take them out to lunch, they're going to help you. And if they're not, then you don't want to be like them anyway and go on to the next or call one of us, because we would love to help you guys grow. Like, I look around this room and I see so many people who I've had the opportunity to sit down and talk with, and it's really cool to all be in here together and get to listen to these ladies, because every time we do a deal together, we get so excited because we're like, yes, it's my friend, it's going to be good, we're going to have fun. And so that I would say, cultivate your relationships in your communities. Of course, obviously, you have to do all of that. You have to be willing to pick up the phone. You have to be willing to show whatever the lead wants to go look at. Like, if they want to go look at that house and you know that it was probably a meth lab, well, you better hope they're paying cash because you're going to go show it. Like, whatever they want to go do, you're going to take them to go do it, and they're going to remember that. And there's no lead that's too small. Heidi's $10,000 lot, there's no lead that's too small, because I guarantee you those people turn around and gave her a referral for several other deals. So be willing to get your hands dirty, be willing to do whatever you have to do to come from contributions for the people that you surround yourself with. And utilize your resources. So no matter where you hang your license, right? We all represent different brokerages. All the brokerages in town are amazing. Everybody has something that they can provide to you. So utilize your resources. If your brokerage has a mentorship program, raise your hand and sign up. Most of them are mandatory anyway, so you're gonna do it, you might as well get the most you can out of it. If you are on a team, they already have a CRM for you to plug your people into. Now, if you're on a team that you're not gonna stay on forever, you should probably have your own, just in case, because you wanna keep your people, right? You have to protect your business. This is your livelihood. And this is how you're gonna feed your families. And if you wake up every day and you treat it that way, you're gonna be wildly successful. Like, never in a million years did I think that I would have the size business that I do. But you wake up every day and you wake up unemployed every day and you go out and you find your next deal and you serve those people well and have fun while you're doing it. If you're not having fun, please stop doing this job, go do something else. Because you have to. So if that means setting off confetti cannons in the parking lot of the title company, call me. I've got my own code with Legend Cannon Company. We can get you hooked up. But whatever you need to do to find your next deal, please go do it. And always just be yourself while you're at it, because they're going to sniff you out every time.
Very good. Give her a hand. So y'all know the NAR statistic for, the average agent in the country does like 10 transactions a year. And you're not gonna have a, huge income on that, right? It's hard to pay your bills on that. So a lot of agents I think that stat though, that average is coming because there's tons of agents that treat their business like a hobby. It's not a hobby. I mean, if it's a hobby, like, I don't know, find something else to do, because this is an opportunity for you as a brand new agent to have life-changing career that you did not think you would have otherwise potentially. Some of y'all came from amazing backgrounds with, some fancy job and all that stuff. Well, I was a stay-at-home homeschool mom who never thought I would have a career and didn't want one, but ended up in a position where I had to figure out how to have one or start. So you have to treat it like a job. It's a job. It's your career. It's your livelihood. So you get up, like Ryan said, every day, get ready, and go to the office. Like, I think my first year, I learned a lot just by listening. And I'll be honest, I learned a lot of what to do and what not to do. It was very evident to me that very quickly that you want to have a good relationship with the agents in our market. So many of y'all I'm like friends with, and I, know you and want to get to know some of you better. But a lot of y'all I know, and we have a great, Ryan was like, every time we get to work together, we're like, woohoo! So the thing is that one tidbit as a new agent, get up, go to work every day, listen to what's going on in the office, pay attention to these people that are talking around you that have done it for a long time, and listen, how do they say it? What do they say to their clients? What is the script that you're hearing over and over and over again from these people who are, it's just maybe even just their nature, it might not even be a script, but you can pick up on that and learn what to say. And you're not going to have confidence at the very beginning because there's just so much you don't know. And I would say as a new agent, the things that are going to get you in trouble aren't the things that you don't know. Like, you might go to Cindy and be like, I don't know the answer to this, and you have a question, right? The problem are the things that you don't know yet when you're brand new. So it's important, like these people are saying, to have a mentor that's going to kind of walk you through that, who can see down the road, oh, when you make this decision, this is how that's going to potentially play out. And as a new agent, you don't have a clue, and that can get you in a lot of trouble. So you want to have a mentor, somebody that you can ask questions all the time, different hours. But also, I'd say as a brand new agent, how do you get business? I mean, try to do some open houses. If you don't have any listings, ask the agents in your office if you can do an open house for them and get the leads. And talk to those people, have conversations, learn how to be comfortable. It's not easy for everybody to just, not everybody's outgoing, not everybody knows what to say, but you're going to learn. It's all skill that you can learn. Call them expired listings. I mean, you can do that without any fancy schmancy programs. You can literally, when I started, I literally got in the MLS and tried to figure out what are some ways I can find phone numbers. I mean, it was a lot of work, but I did it. Also, I would just say, like I said, listen to people, ask questions of other agents. I mean, I have agents sometimes randomly call me that I've never met with some question that in my mind I'm thinking, it's funny that they're calling me to ask about this mobile home or whatever, but they didn't call their broker for whatever reason. I've never even met them, but if you have questions, find somebody who will give you the answers. You know, don't be afraid to ask. And mindset is huge, and I would say get Audible if you can. If you're brand new and you're trying to buy groceries, I understand, but as soon as you can do it, get Audible and listen to positive mindset building, encouraging, like how to think positive, how to have confidence, how to do good at whatever you're trying to do. It could be an athlete that's talking or whatever, it doesn't matter, but you've got to have a positive mindset. And the one thing, my favorite word is next. So when stuff happens, and it does, and you get super discouraged early on and you lose a deal or whatever happens, you have to let that roll off your back and keep going. Just keep going. Most agents quit. Don't quit. Next. Next. Okay, that fell apart. Next.
Give her a hand.